a very warm welcome to all our panelists and the audience who are connecting with us today for this program. Myself, Dr. Aparna Dhir, is the moderator of today's program. The approach of Institute of Advanced Sciences is to guide us all together to the path of knowledge with its innovative idea. Previously in the years 2020, 2022, and 2024, we had a few interesting discussions on the themes like Corona or rituals and evolution of family system. In this way, Institute of Advanced Sciences, through its School of Indic Studies, is always trying to take an initiative to have an open discussion over the issues that are related and affects our day-to-day life. And today's Loka-Varta is fourth in that series. And the theme of today's Loka-Varta is Role of Women as Inspiration for Social Behavior. So before we start our program, let me introduce our panelists of today's program. And I really, first of all, like to thank them all to accept for accepting our invitation. And today we have for this interactive interaction. And today we have Dr. Sangeeta Sharma ji. She is an Ayurveda Vaidya, MD, PhD in Panchakarma Ayurveda. She is having more than 15 years of experience in Ayurveda practice. She is a Guinness Book of World Record holder for being the trainer and key participant in the largest number of people receiving NISA therapy held at National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur on 15 September 2017. At present, she is working as faculty in the Department of Physiology and Health at Maharishi International University, Iowa, University of USA, teaching Ayurveda to master's students since July 2021. And she's working as Ayurveda consultant in Integrative Wellness Center there. She had a brilliant academic track record. Several articles, both in Indian and international journals, has been published by her and had presented many papers and had been invited by corporates, other organizations for delivering talk on health at different platforms of MNC, schools, and orphanage. So we welcome you, Sangeeta Sharma ji. Now, moving ahead, we have our own Director, President, Institute of Advanced Sciences, Professor Bal Ram Singh ji. He's the key person who has allowed me to work freely for this special program. And I'm really thankful to him for this, for his kindness. And he has been a professor of chemistry, biochemistry, biology, and the founding director of Center for Indic Studies at UMass Dartmouth. He's a director of Botulinum Research Center. His research includes Ayurvedic science and technology, yoga and consciousness, Vedic education pedagogy, Vedic social and political traditions. He's a fellow of Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Advanced Study, JNU, New Delhi. He's a member of board, Waves USA, editor-in-chief, Waves blog, Heart blog, and many other to his credit, and also a managing editor of Ayurveda Journal of Health. Thank you, sir, and we welcome you for this program, for this discussion.
Thank you.
Then we have with us Dr. Wang. She has received her PhD degree in nutritional sciences from the University of Kentucky Medical School in 2007. Then she joined Harvard Medical School as postdoctorate scholar until 2008. In 2009, Dr. Wang joined Prime Bio. Over the past 16 years working at the company, she has extensive research experiences in cellular and molecular biology, mainly studying the role of botulinum toxin and related fields. And also she's as the R&D director of Prime Bio. Dr. Wang directs the company R&D activities with other botulinum toxin production companies in the United States, Europe, and Asia, and is responsible for cost management and scientific merit. Dr. Wang is also responsible for companies' patent prosecution and administration in the United States and more than a dozen other countries worldwide, as well as a research grant submission and post-award management through fundings from the government agencies like National Institute of Health and Center for Disease Control and Prevention. We welcome you, Dr. Wang.
Thank you. Good pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Next, moving ahead, we have among us. That's an honor for this whole program that we have among us Brigadier Dr. Jeewan Rajpurohit ji. He is a soldier scholar from Indian Army with 37 years of military experience. The Army Chief and Chairman of the Chiefs of Staff Committee have awarded him thrice for bravery and once to academic excellence. He has led multiple international military delegations and worked at the UN mission in Cambodia and worked extensively in J&K and Northeast India for social development. He holds doctoral and MPhil degrees in management and an MSc in defense studies. He is the editor of two books, Contemporary Relevance of Triguna Theory in the 21st Century and Indian Armed Forces in Nation Building. His new book, Leadership Beyond Barracks, is coming out soon. He has designed and authored training books on organizational behavior and strategic management at the College of Defense Management. He's a vice president of WAVES, that is a wider association for Vedic studies in India. He has spoken at international forums on management and Indian knowledge. He is a consultant with Ministry of Education and speaks on leadership, Chanakya, and international relations at universities and corporates. We welcome you, Dr. Prohit ji.
Thank you, Dr. Aparna. Pleasure.
Ji. Our next panelist for today's program, Dr. Prashant Shukla ji. He's working as Associate Professor of Philosophy in University of Lucknow. He's also the visiting faculty of Symbolic Logic at BITS Pilani. Previously, he has worked at Hindu College, University of Delhi, and has been a recipient of UGC JRF and MHRD Greek Government Scholarship. He earned his doctorate in postmodern philosophy from JNU, New Delhi, and postdoctorate in 2008 in the classical Greek philosophy from University of Athens, Greece. He has got 15 research papers published and has authored 7 books, some of which are used as textbooks for Jamia Millia Islamia University, Vinoba Bhave University, and Savitri Bhai Phule University, Pune. We welcome you, Dr. Prashant ji. And with this, we are very happy that our today's panel is very renowned and is having learned scholars from various fields, from different fields of the globe, we can say, because we have philosopher, with us we have scientists, we have a person from the defense, we have an Ayurveda practitioner, and many others as audience have joined us. So if anybody has, because this is going to be a live interaction, so I believe if there will be any question or something for the panelist, you can write in the chat box. We can take if time permits us. And with this, we start the celebration of International Women's Day. And before I proceed and ask any proceed with the interaction, I firstly think that when we talk about Women's Day, the first thing from being an Indian, our mind gives us this idea from the Manusmriti. Yatra narestyu pujante tatra ramante tatra devata. That is a famous shloka from Manusmriti, which means which means that where women are honored, divinity blossoms there or resides there. So, but we have our panelist with whom we may start our discussion that do we really feel so that where women are being honored, actually the religious or the divinity resides there. So before we start, just in one line, I want to have the interpretation from Professor Bal Ram Singh ji on this particular shloka, because he has a very different and a unique kind of analysis of this particular shloka, and then we will start our discussion.
Thank you, Aparna, and happy Women's Day. Women who, the word itself carries men in it. So I feel a little bit privileged that I'm well protected by women. So, and I've been very lucky also that so many women, from my mother to my students have taught me so much. And of course, I have daughters. And I really feel very well protected because of women. So now Yatri naryasya pujante ramante tatra devata. That means wherever women are worshipped, divine roams around. So normally people say that all the women should be worshipped. I think I've written an article. I say, what about Monica Lewinsky? So what should we do to her? She's a woman. And most people, they don't know what to say. So I thought about this. And being a chemist, we believe in reversibility. Everything has reverse meaning also. So if the women are supposed to be worshipped, then the worshipping should be done to people who are worth something. So in my opinion, it is the women, and we know this practically, the social status of a society is really determined by women, either as a mother or any other role, wife, daughter, sister. And in India, particularly, all these things are celebrated one way or the other. So the women, in my opinion, when it was written, it says women define the society. India is one country and only country, I believe, which is the whole country is defined as a mother, which is a woman, which means the status of women is so high that the whole country is considered as a mother. The name of the country is Bharat Mata, or the mother India. We have so many other things about mother tongue. Brigadier Purohit will understand, mother of battles. It's really gives that thing, which means, and mother is always worshipped. So I think that is the way I think that when women reach that level, they don't have to be mother, but they can have that mantle. I consider myself as a mentor, also as a mother. I have told this to one of my students when she said that she considers me like her father. I said, no, 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 I'm like your mother. And she was a little bit concerned that I had a sex change, gender change. I said, no, no, no. Mentor is actually like a mother because I know everything about you when you started the whole thing. So, Aparna, to just finish this conversation that you said, that just to say, where women become worshipable, when they are raised their status so that they are worshipped, that is where divine exists. The women determine the society, the status of a society, and the value of a society. And that's what I think it means. It doesn't mean every woman will be worshipped. I'm a professor. I need to be a professor worth doing something. If I don't do my job, I don't think I should be respected. So I think it is the what you do is what is, and women are the one who are said like this. Nobody said this about men, by the way. Yet naris, they never said yes, narasya pujante. They don't say that because the ultimate status of the height of a society of this creation is with women.
Yes, truly agree, sir. I think other panelists do agree to this, that the status is so high, the woman's status is so high. And when you said it is equivalent to mother and motherhood, and also when you say integrate that thing to the nation, Bharat Mata. So I believe that the next interaction with Professor Jeewan Rajpurohit should be there, and with your your sentiments that women's status is so high. I think then why there is a what is there is why you think there is a need to celebrate Women's Day as a call to remind us women's equality with men, Professor Rajpurohit.
Yeah.
When the status
Namaskar.
itself is so high, then why there is it appears that whenever we talk about, even the theme of the 2025 is right, equality and empowerment, and accelerate action towards what? To have the gender parity with the men. So why is it so?
Namaskar, Jai Hind. Once again, many happy returns of the day. Best wishes on Women's Day to all of us together. Not only women, all of us together. because I am also born out of a woman. So every ansh of mine belongs to my mother, my DNA, my generations. And if I take you a couple of generations back into the not only history but ancient history, wherein you look into the Darshan Shastra, look into Shad Darshan or Hindu Darshan, the very metaphysical or the social dimensions, whichever you take, the role and status of women has always been recognized equivalent to cosmic energy. And this cosmic energy or Shakti and that of creative force, which is Prakriti, they both of them, they come from the universe, the energy, and from women. So there is no denial to that effect at all. The question is, should we celebrate it today? I really have a question mark. For the Western society, it is all right. They for every event they have a day, Father's Day, Daughter's Day, Son's Day. हमारी संस्कृति में ऐसा नहीं है. हमारी संस्कृति में every morning I get up, I go and touch feet of my parents, and so do my children do. So out here I am praying and I'm with my parents, with my mother every day. If you look into the agamic traditions, the agamic traditions consider women more powerful than the men. And therefore, if I can add a couple of things to say that whether it is Nyaya or Visheshika or Sankhya philosophy, everywhere the generations over the centuries and thousands of years of evolution of humankind has been based on Stri, woman. Professor Bal Ram Sir very eloquently brought out that it is the woman who carries the entire society. I may do anything, think anything, but जो दादी ने कहा ना, वो gospel truth है. दादी नानी की कहानियां क्यों चल रही है? दादा की कहानी क्यों नहीं चल रही? So if you look into all this, they all have some connection. And if you put this connection not as a story but as a science, you'll find that chemical connection somewhere. Therefore, in my personal context, it is all right to remind us in the modern, fast, dynamic world to say कि अच्छा ठीक है आज Daughter's Day मना लो, Son's Day मना लो, and today is a Women's Day. So compliments to all women, my mother, my sister, my wife, and so is the entire society. 50% of our society is the opposite gender. And therefore, there's no harm in celebrating. But in my custom, in my way of living, my society, the Bharatiya society, we always consider Ma with us. And as said, the Go Mata, Bharati Mata, आप लक्ष्मी पार्वती सरस्वती से ले लो, सब जगह ले लो, प्रभाव माता का ही है. और अगर इस प्रभाव के साथ हम जी रहे हैं, रोजाना जी रहे हैं, तो फिर किसी एक दिन पर क्यों मनाना? Why celebrate this on one day and say कि oh, I have memorized and I have gone and said to ABC women compliments. So in my personal perspective, we revere them every day. The Satogun says exactly this. So you have the Sattva bhav towards women and things go very well. I leave it at that, and as discussion progresses, we can continue. These are my thoughts, and other panelists can share and chip in with more. Thank you, Aparna.
Yes, and as Dr. Rajpurohit ji said, and that's very true, that why we all still follow the truth, the sayings of our grandparents, and especially grandma from the mother side and from the father side. Never follow grandfathers sayings. It's never. I don't think so. Even we have Dr. Wang with us, and she's from Chinese background, and if she can relate this, do they also follow their grandmas, grandnannies sayings, or they also have some different kind of thinking like in this thinking?
Yeah, totally. So I think in China with the grandfather side, I think we have separated, from the mother side and the father side. And then one important thing, I think, from the female side, when the male side, when we mention about grandparents, is to carry the family name. Because normally the boys with really kind of carry on the family's name. So it's the father's grandpa, and then like that is one important chain in regards to the family kind of definition. But in the meantime, from the mother's side, like we don't have middle name. I know in the Western world they have a middle name of the like mother's maiden name, because after getting married, female will change their last name. So like in China, like there's no change of the last name after getting married. So the mother will carry on their own last name, although it's not passing along to the son. But I think with Dr. Singh, we have some other discussion in some other meeting. It's really like mother is like female figure in the family is important. It's really because it's what's in your heart. I think the name is a symbol, but I highly like believe it was the caring of the mothers is really carry along the generations of the family. It's the core of the family. It's like the glue in the society also. So that's my kind of like strong feeling regarding the mother side and father side. And it's both important, of course, as woman and man, like female and male, I think we have different character. So the man's like from the evolution point of view is the kind of go hunting and then really protect everybody, and it's show both the boys and the girls in the family like how to find you position in the society. So a caring mother and a strong father, I think, is the kind of key to really make kids know how to like interact with different genders. For example, like the daughter will look into father to see, oh, how should I deal with male, right? And then the mother is teaching the son to be caring. So I feel it's really a great balance, and like it really shouldn't be separate, like who is stronger than the other and who we should cherish more. But I think we all agree, like, everybody has a mother, right? I think Dr. has emphasized this enough, like with lots of discussions regarding, like, I think always a strong, caring man have strong relationship with his mother. I think that's my observation. So
Yes, as you're also mother of two children, so we can say that yeah, you have related it so well, and there is nothing like competition, like father is best or mother is best for both the kids. For generally, both parents have their own way of give them teachings and learnings. So there is no point in competition. In fact, if today we are celebrating like Father's Day or Men's Day, that is International Men's Day in November every year. So we may have talk about mainly on the men's part, that how they take our lives forward by through their preachings and other things. So with this, I also Dr. Jeevan ji has pointed out sattva gun in the females. So as we have a practitioner, Ayurveda practitioner, Dr. Sangeeta ji. So can you highlight much on this, on the sattva part? Through the Triguna theory, he has given this point.
Namaskar. Thank you, Aparna ji, for giving this wonderful opportunity. It's so nice to sit among the esteemed guests here and from different fields. So, as Jeewan sir has said, that Sattva Guna, as a female, as I say that it's not just, female is not just representing Sattva Guna or whatever. We are, when we are a part of the evolution theory as such, and the Darshana says, the Vaisheshik Darshana also says that Prakriti or Purush, दोनों के मिलन से ही फिर, the story has started. I don't say that it's only Sattva Guna. The amalgamation is of all the three gunas here. And every individual is representing all the three gunas. According to Ayurveda theory, we have the combination of all the three gunas and the representation in every angle in our own body, in our own action, in our own behavior. So I imply on that aspect.
So yes.
Can I add a point to what Dr. Sangeeta is saying?
Yes, please, please.
When we say sattva, it is not only for women. It is equal for all beings. And this Triguna exists everywhere, in all beings, including animals and plants. And therefore, whichever force from your inner consciousness you feed, you become that kind of person. Whether you will become a Shurpankha or you will become Mata Sita depends which force or which energy you channelize. You channelize a positive and good energy, you go towards Sattva. You channelize the destructive energy, you go towards Tamo, negative. So the impact is equal. The only point to be considered in this is that like you take Sankhya Yoga or Karma Yoga or even Karma Gyan Yoga as given in Gita, they do not differentiate between gender. They say Karma Pradhanam. वही सब कुछ है, मेल है, फीमेल है, irrespective. So when you say celebration of women today, calling them for complimenting and all, that is perfectly fine. I am trying to connect our historical events with the present society and the disconnect. The Western society has its own way of respecting women. We have our way of respecting women. Dr. Wang conveyed the same thing. Oriental philosophy talks about similar things. So when you put things in right perspective, you find the importance of women get highlighted immensely. The only drawback or negative that comes into my thought immediately is last about 900 years or 1000 years of oppression that we have gone through, and this oppression has been suffered maximum by the women gender, and therefore all the so-called negativities and bringing up women or the talks like empowering have come up. Our women were already empowered. वो तो खुद ज्ञाता थी. अब चूंकि हमको लगता है कि उनका महत्व कम हो गया, so we are trying to re-energize them. And rightly so, India has got rural population where condition of women and girl child is not very good. So we want to focus on that. From that perspective, it matches what the Western philosophy says and what we want to do. So it's perfectly fine. We can continue the discussion. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta, Aparna.
Yes, and that's not, though it is not our tradition or our way of Indian tradition, but the same with Dr. Wang, this practice is there, not there in the China as well. But the sense of having respect for women is there, even in China or India or anywhere in the country globally. So my question is for Dr. Prashant ji, because as just now the discussion ends with this thing that our women are already empowered. So my question is, when we have empowering, do you think that empowering women will actually empower the society?
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak with such eminent speakers. So I consider it as an opportunity, and I just want to carry on the discussion with which Dr. Rajpurohit has just talked. So carrying on the thread further, when we use the term International Women's Day, so we are not talking about a woman, rather we are talking about the woman. So in a way, we are not pinpointing about the glorification of a particular woman or maybe defaming other women. We are talking about the expected generic traits which a woman ought to have. So like Professor Singh has rightfully said, should we talk about Monica Lewinsky in the same spirit as we talk about Gargi, Maitreyi, Sulabha, and so on? Well, no, we cannot. But then we are not talking about a particular woman or man or anybody else, which might prove as an exception to our mainstream expectation. You see, what happens nowadays is that if we have to appreciate anyone, we usually take the general expected traits. But if we have to criticize any person or phenomena, we generally take the exceptional instance and then glorify it. So the point is well taken The guna of sattva need not necessarily reside only in women. It might be in male or maybe a transgender as well. So we have got absolutely no problem. But the point is, when we picturize a woman, what do we expect? Do we expect Monica Lewinsky? I don't think so. When I picturize or make a caricature woman, I think about my mother. And that is why this is exactly the trait which I believe we talk about when we celebrate the International Womenhood Day. So, of course, such a day should be celebrated, not because there is a particular day allocated for the woman, but because we should remember what traits are expected from a woman which are exclusive for them. So, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you rightly said that there are certain exclusive traits that we found in a woman and which make her more, her character shows up, and we generally feel like very first thought, if any women we have, is of our mother, whose traits we try to follow throughout our lives. And then there are very many other different roles who impacted our lives or who influences our life. So I again come to Dr. Wang for this question. Do you really think that different roles of a woman, different roles as she played, like a sister, teacher, a mother, then of a wife, and many other roles she plays in her throughout journey of life, that impacts the social behavior?
Yeah, I think that that's definitely true because as the society is really a woven of relationship. And I think the core of having a happy life or how the society work is really connection between humans. So in this case, the emotion and the understanding of others, I think lots of women's character is really built to do that. Like we are more sensitive and we are more easy to have the like the emotional connection, sympathy, and so in this way, it's really like depending on your position, like thinking of the family, of course, like mother normally is the caregiver. And then I think with my two own kids, I observe, my husband, how he interacts with the kids. And we all know the baby start a connection, of course, from mother, like they grow inside the mother and then the connection for 9, 10 months, and then the baby come to the world. And that's the first time the father will have the connection is to holding the baby. So in this way, I think the connection was really earlier compared to the male figure. So I think we look like for myself, like maybe, I don't know, regarding this panelist, I think I want to relate to myself so I easier to explain my feelings. So I think after having my daughter, like my first kid, I really see everybody different. For example, when I look at Dr. Singh, I was like, oh, Dr. Singh was a baby as well. Because normally, especially when you look up to somebody, they're really already there. They know everything already and so above your knowledge. But after having the kid, you look at the life differently. So everybody is coming to the world as a baby crying and holding by a mother. So I think that's really the core of all the beginning of the relationships. So yeah, so that's my feeling.
Yes, and I think you differentiated it so well that mother's connection with the baby starts once she conceived, but whereas father, when one first time hold the baby, the connection starts from there, actually holding with the sense. And maybe I'm not a chemist person like Professor Singh, who always connect these things very deeply. And I think he is the right person to elaborate this. And also there is one question related to the motherhood only. Then there is a saying that when if you educate a woman, you actually educate the generation. So how much is this true in this sense also? So these two questions are actually connected with each other. So I'm willing to have Professor Singh's opinion on this.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, of course, I have a lot of opinions. One of them is the scientific you were saying. So, what is the difference between father and mother? There is one chromosome difference. Mothers have X chromosome and fathers have Y chromosome. Interestingly, the size of the chromosome is 3 times. Mother has 3 times advantage over father. Father's Y chromosome is only 55 million base pairs, and mother's X chromosome has 150 million base pairs. So they have really lot more say. So is the daughter. We should not just only think about the mother, also we should think about the daughter and the daughter's effect on father. It's amazing. In every culture, daughters are so much valued. They are so well protected, and mostly by fathers and brothers, fathers particularly. And then the science says when a father sees a daughter's face first time, his brain starts changing. The brain structure changes. Those who don't have daughters, they are very unfortunate people. I'm very fortunate to have 2 daughters and very fortunate to have 2 daughters who really dictate on me because they are so loving, that they can dictate, like Dr. Wang is saying. She may be looking at me, at least, because he is mother, she can also look at me as a kid, as a baby. I must have been a baby someday. Only she can think. Nobody else can think. Only women can think like that. So no matter how big somebody is, my daughters, when they stand up in front of me, I just have to listen. And actually, I'm listening and going. Next week, I'm going to Hong Kong because my daughter, when she was during the COVID time, she was in Hong Kong for 2 years teaching in University of Hong Kong, and she felt very bad. And she was married, but her husband was a little bit weak. He was concerned, going there. But when she asked me, I bought the ticket and I did everything, and I said I'm going. But Dr. Wang actually helped me find that the hotel I booked was the hotel she wanted me to book, but that was not in the same city. It was in another city. I did not know. So I had to cancel everything. But the purpose was done. My daughter, I mean, first of all, her husband eventually decided to go because he realized that if the father is willing to go, well, he should be able to go. And secondly, she always puts this gesture of a father that no matter what, I am coming, I will be there. So I'm actually going next week to meet that word. She's going to Hong Kong, and well, I need to come there, and we need to celebrate what I missed at that time. So what I'm saying is the fathers so much affected by daughters, and the connection is the brain because permanently changes. It's not just one day; it changes permanently, and that relationship, as you can see in case of India, the Janaki, Sita, Brigadier Prohit talked about Sita. Janaki is the daughter of Janak. And so the daughters are known through their father. I know that all the mothers are very important and we all know that. But the point is I'm saying the relationship with the daughter is also very important. So the son that is born and raised and the daughter that is being raised and protected, and what you are saying that if you educate one woman, you educate the whole generation. That is so true. And the middleman in the both of them are parents. And father is no less in serving the mother and serving the daughter. So that is the kind of impact that women can have, but provided what you said earlier, Yatri Naryasya Pujan, they have to be like that. A daughter has to be like that. I'm so proud. And the mother has to be so great that I inherit many, not just the genes, because I do miss one of the genes. The X, there is a favoritism. Mothers give their daughters 2X and they give only son only 1X. So I've been discriminated, but nevertheless that is compensated by her care. And so it does make huge difference that women educated doesn't mean just a degree. Educated means really educated. Then there is no way anybody else can do anything else, including Brigadier Purohit. All the great wars in India, epic wars have been because of women. The men in the world today, 99.97% people who die in war are men. So just imagine who is protected. Women. Why? Because they're important. Nobody protects somebody who is useless. People protect somebody who is useful. So that itself just says that women are so important. And I think they need to take their responsibility very seriously on this International Women's Day. The women need to take their responsibility, not like celebrated, oh, we are given some gifts and this and that. No, no, no. They should sit down at least an hour and think about what they have done and what they could do to help the society. Thank you.
Yes, that's fine, sir. But what is highlighted from your opinion is the motherly figure or the daughterly figure is the way to follow, to learn. But what about the wife? That is also the role of the
Yeah,
women's.
I know. That's where the problem is. They should call it actually Wives' Day rather than Women's Day, and that will that will solve the whole problem. And by the way, women word itself is wife of a man. The its origin is wife of a man. So this is in a way you can say, and we can talk about that. Then forget about mother and daughter. Let's talk about wives. What they
No, but
do.
later on you gave the example of the ladies for that cause the great wars happened like Mahabharata or the Ramayana. So
And they were
is the
wives.
wife
They were wives.
is the wife is related to the war and the mother and the daughter is
Well, people
for
go
the
to
following.
war. That's what it means that people go to war for their wives. If their wife is dishonored, they will go to war. No question about that. That also is true. But it is that the role of wife is also very, in at least Indian context, and maybe even Dr. Wang could talk about in Chinese context. We know what is in the Western concept. Western concept, women did not have soul in their tradition. They were born out of the ribs of men, which is very different. I mean, it may not be, it may be just metaphorical. But the point is that when you think about a society where women don't have soul or they are born out of ribs, when in India it's opposite. Everything starts from women. So even if it is just a story that somebody tells, but that story has a meaning to anybody who is studying this. So yeah, that is true. The wives in India are considered as dharma patni. It's very interesting. Dharma means righteous for Dr. Wang. Dharma means righteous. So they are righteous wife. The title goes, there is no righteous husband. There is no dharmapati. Because we know they would mess it up. So women are supposed to be, so it's the wives are supposed to showing the way, and that is a lot of work to try to have an, I mean, all of you have been wives and you know how difficult it is sometimes for men to change their mind, but you do eventually, they do. I mean, I can tell in my case, I our first child came because my wife wanted it. I came to America to do my PhD by my wife wanted it. This is what she said. And I went to do postdoc in University of Wisconsin because my wife agreed to that. And I came to University of Massachusetts as faculty because my wife wanted it. And I did not want to stay here, but my wife said, no, I've been staying here and I'm still here. So you can just imagine. So that there is a way they do make it. It is so great if they became like what Yatri Naris, when they are at the level of being worshipped, and if they say that, so it will be so much more for the society.
So that gives me a clue to say that for every successful man, there is a woman behind, and we know who's your pillars of strength.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you call it success. Yes, absolutely.
And I'll add a practical example to what you're saying, sir. I've been operating against the terrorists in various parts of the country. And one of the finest means and methods to identify and locate a terrorist, was who? Go and meet his mother.
Yeah.
Go and meet his chachi.
Yeah.
And more importantly, go and meet his girlfriend. And if he's married, go and meet the wife. You'll immediately get to know where this guy is. And all that you got to tell him or tell that lady इन चारों बातों में से आप उनको बोलो, do you want your son live? If yes, just tell me. Tell his girlfriend, do you want your boyfriend to be with you tomorrow? You tell me and I'll get him. If you don't give me and if I find him, then you'll only get a body.
So,
And you know, we were so successful in this chemistry, in this relation, that I could disarm large number of militants and terrorists simply by this traditional connect between the son and the opposite gender, whether sister, mother, especially girlfriend, chachi, great relation. And मैं तो आज की बात बोल रहा हूँ जो which has been happening 90s and 2000s. So ancient times say
the guidance is coming from there.
Proving the theory, huh?
Yeah.
Hence LHS is equal to RHS.
Yeah, I think the Women's Day is also a kind of a celebration of that kind, but the different kind of women. The mothers don't care, the wives don't care, the sisters don't care. It is those who are not satisfied with their being mother, daughter, sister, wife. They need to find something, and I believe that is important. It gives me an opportunity to highlight that there is other roles for them to play where they will be worshipped. And this was one of them. If you're not, then it's okay, let's have discussion. And of course, as a man, I see potentially, depending on what age they are, I see potentially generally sisters and daughters and mothers. So no matter what they say, I always look at them that way. And many times I win the argument by saying things like that. If I see some young lady is very upset about something, I said, "Beta, you need to do this. Then they get disarmed right away because then the whole man-woman is God. When I'm considering you to be my daughter, and I'm going to do everything possible, as you can see, what I do with my daughter. There is no. I really mean it. If we do that, I think we are born of women and as mothers, and we have their sanskaras, their values, the way of thinking about the society, and how can we not? I mean, there will be exceptions in this world, and there are problems in the. We should not ignore. There are problems, but that's out of ignorance. We need to highlight that kind of thing on International Women's Day for women's role, their value and their authority and their way of thinking, and for other women also, and men, of course, for sure.
Yes, and I think this discussion is more from the started with the mother's role in our lives, then comes to daughter, and then the wife's role, and then finally, Dr. Rajpurohit ji has taken us to the battlefield. So it is quite getting serious. So I am asking a very light question to Vaidya Sangeeta Sharma ji, and as we generally consider like women as a symbol of beauty and other traits related to that. So, do you think that women's beauty lies in the grace or the confidence she holds?
Wonderful question, Aparna ji. So, definitely, I would say it's not about how she looks or how she presents or how she dresses up. It's just a representation that when you thought comes in your mind about women, the first thought comes as beauty, because it is just a representation in that way. But definitely it's her confidence, the way she presents herself behaviorally, as we have talked about social behavior, as Bal Ram ji was saying, that she need to have more and more responsibility, because she's the one who can frame out the structure of the society. She can make it vice versa if she wants, right? So it definitely depends upon how she presents herself and the confidence with which she moves forward. And definitely she makes a huge difference the way she takes up an action and how she executes it in at whatever position she is, either it's mother or wife or daughter. As Bal Ram sir was saying, that her wife is responsible for whatever he has, not changed the place or has done his postdoc or PhD. So it's all depends that if she believes very strong that yes, I need to do this,
She
she
may
does.
not agree with my characterization. She may say, no, no, no. She will have a list of the 100 things that I did not do. And that may be true also. But the
Yes.
major things is really I had to just follow.
And that confidence, Aparna ji, that doesn't only represent her activities, but also it nurtures the next generation in the family, also the siblings. She makes a huge difference. Personally, if I feel, I see my siblings telling to me that, oh, yes, Didi's confidence had made a difference in our own thought. Even my kids say so that the way we represent anything or do any action, that gives them that confidence to even take up that action. So definitely it's not just the beauty or the grace with which she presents herself. The way she represents herself in her action or in her confidence makes a huge difference.
Yes, I think these both grace and confidence is actually complementary to each other, because they both. If you carry both, then you are a star. If you are carry one of them, then also you are on the path of being star. I think so. So, yes, now the question is, as we have Dr. Wang with us, do you want to give any example? Oh, sorry, Dr. Rajpurohit wants to add something. You are muted, sir. You are muted.
Whether complimentary or otherwise, I personally feel दम होना चाहिए तो आप कुछ भी कर लोगे, चाहे लड़का है या लड़की है. And therefore, for women, it is more important to build the capabilities. And therefore, the importance of nurturing, growing, educating, and making our women strong, making our daughters and sisters strong so that they stand all by themselves wherever they go. I'll give you an example of the CEO of Thyrocare in India. He is Dr. Velumani. He's a tall, dark, handsome Madrasi. When he was to get married, he was working in BARC, and one of the officers, he found him to be a suitable match. So he approached Velumani number of times and he refused every time. So just to shoo him away, he said, "Theek, I'll meet your daughter and then we'll see." And he met the daughter and refused. After 2-3 years, when again this gentleman persisted, he says, "Okay, I'll meet once again your daughter and see." And when he met his daughter, he found that the daughter was equally tall, equally dark, and more brainy lady. And he left the choice to the lady and she said yes. So I'm giving you a live example to say that it is the ability, capability, and the capacity that we develop in our women gender that will dictate how she will carry not only herself but the entire society together. Thank you.
Yes, and this will actually mark her behavior and her conduct that can hold the society towards the betterment. And that's why I was invited. I was willing to invite Dr. Wang for giving us such example in her throughout journey till now, from the global history from where she wants to give us, maybe from the China or US, wherever she lived her life. So the example can be of any leading, inspiring women whom she think that we should follow, or that can be an inspiration for us. Like example was given by Dr. Rajpurohit. You are muted, Dr.
Yeah,
Wang.
totally.
Yes.
So just to follow up earlier when Dr. Singh and also this group, we discussed about how we cherish women, and then I know like the goddess war, the role. So actually in China, there's a myth, like a story, like there's a lady called Nuwa, like she is the creation of all human beings. And then one time there's a big hole in the sky. So she was the lady who go up there, like boil all the stones and need to be five different colors and patch the sky. Otherwise, like water was pouring, is like a disaster will really diminish like human beings. And after all the work, there's still a small hole there. And so she decided, flew up there and then patched the sky herself, like sacrifice herself. So I think for a woman also, like the sacrifice is another thing. I think we like imagine, the labor when you have the kid, the pain you're going through and all this. I think after having the baby, like especially for women who have more than one, you forget how painful it was the first time, right? If it's really unbearable, you won't do it again, like because we learn from our mistakes, we learn from our experiences. But I think labor is really a great example, like with going through, like it's life-threatening. Like I remember, like after having my baby, because I don't know anything, my mother was so worried. I was like, why is she worrying? I'm always, happy with, oh, I'm going to have a kid, and then no worry about the labor because you didn't see the danger, right? It's a life-threatening experiences. So I think the sacrifice is really another thing. Like once you be a mother, you made, and then you're really proud of it, and you cherish it, and you are willing to do it again. So I think that's one other point. And in regards to the women who inspiring the world, and I think there are like think about the history. I think there are two women I want to mention with the Chinese background. I think one is the Wu Zetian, who is actually the only female king in Chinese history. It was from like the Tang Dynasty, which is the richest time. Like always we say, if you go to Japan, it's really the Tang Dynasty in China. So all the buildings conserved so well, and the dress, like actually in China, in Japan, with the traditional dress, we also consider also, although Japanese may not agree. So, but with the long history and with all the trading in the surrounding countries, so Wu Zetian has considered she's the only female king throughout the history, and she was in charge actually the richest, the most successful area in China, and have great influence of surrounding countries. So I think that's really mean a thing. And she did it so smartly because in a male dominant time, so she actually works through her husband and works through her son. So I think that's also like, to build a relationship and to make sure like the male can work together with the female. I think she is, although I don't agree with many things she does. And as you can imagine, in order to be the rule, like be the top person, she really like did so many other really crucial things. But anyways, she's quite a figure worth mentioning. And then I think there's another lady coming to a more modern, and of course, Mother Teresa. I think she is really the most like powerful, the biggest heart, and from India, right? So I feel that's also why Dr. always mentioning, like in the Western world, why Chinese and Indian and all these Asian people coming over, she feel it's easier to communicate with people from Asian because we really have the similar thoughts and how we look into women. We have great women in our history. So, and I think the last one as a scientist I want to mention is Shen Xun Wu. So she's the lady who is really the kind of called the first lady of physics, the Chinese. Oh, actually I have a couple of slides. I was quickly putting something together. Like at least I want to show her picture. So maybe it's
So I have to allow you give you the sharing.
right. Yeah, so I sent the request.
Yes.
Oh, great.
I think now you can.
Yeah. So now can you see my slides?
Yes.
Is it on the slideshow? Oh, yeah.
No, not yet. Yeah, now it is.
Yeah, so this is new. Yeah, so this is the generation of the human beings, the mother of human being, and she really saved the human being when there's a hole in the sky. So, and then she boiled like different colors of the stone, and that's a special technique she has, and she flew up to, fill the hole and then later sacrifice herself. And then this is Wu Zetian. We don't have a really picture of her because it was from 665 to 705 years ago, but she has been considered the only female king, and then who has really in charge of the most powerful and the wealthiest era of Chinese history. And Mother Teresa. And then this is Dr. Xing Hu. So she did nuclear, like in physics, she had great contribution. And then she actually, like her colleague, based on her experiment, and then like Zhong Dao Li and Chen Yang win the 1957 Nobel Prize based on her work. And then herself, she got awarded another Wolf Prize in physics in 1978. And here also, like I feel for the society looking to women, I think that's the other like aspect we should consider. Like lots of times women's contribution may be under like appreciated. And then like I feel also in a room when there's more male than female, like I think the female's voice is softer, and then you are more like kind of in the background supporting others. So, and women intend to apologize more, even if it's not our fault. I think that's like with the mother's role, like we are more caring. When there's a conflict, I think we choose to step away or we choose to back off. And also if we look into the history, I think the other thing I want to mention is like I think it's related to the question we discussed earlier regarding, the woman's beauty or grace, but how a society look at a woman can really change how we look at ourselves. Like in history in China, there's one time the king feel the woman need to be grace, need to walk slowly. So I share a room with my great grandma actually. So she was born in 1900. So during her younger years, teenager years in China, ladies still wrap their feet. I don't know whether you know in this history in China. So women use this white, it's really long clothes. So your feet is wrapped like your toe is the pointing point, and all your other like toes on your feet is kind of wrapped underneath. So your feet is really pointy, and then you can imagine how painful it is. But in this way, you can only walk slowly. You can't run. And then you kind of really need to you also have a really tiny feet. And back then, they think it's a beauty. So my great grandma was having that feet. It's really like torture. You can imagine all the bones is step underneath your feet. And then you make your own special like small shoes. It's like smaller than your hand sometimes. So in that time, you can imagine all the women was like that. Otherwise, you won't be able to find a husband. Because my great grandma told me when her mother do that, she was like refuse. Girls want to run around. But then her mother was like, oh, if you don't do this, you won't be able to get married. You won't have a family. No male will marry you. So that's really what the society has put in on women. And I think in Europe, it has happened as well. Like I think one time I went to the museum in Boston. Like there's in different era, it's like from in the past like couple hundreds years, like some of the women will wear clothes made of bamboo, like enlarge your breast. Some maybe like enlarge you like bottom, like on your back. I think in some of the traditional like all the time, like the Hollywood movie, you see girls have make their like the waist really thin, right? They wear a special dress. It's like shoelaces on your back, and then really tight, really up, and then you have all these skirts with bamboo underneath. So I think like really human body, ladies' body has been observed as, I think maybe cherished as art, but it's really not humanity to do lots of things to women's body. So in India, have there been any kind of torture? I mean, to me, it really sounds like a child torture in China and in Europe. So in India, I'm like really interested to know anything like this happen in India.
No.
Right.
Women being
Relate.
tortured to represent herself beautiful. Of course, her beauty has been always represented to divinity, and that is so pious and pure that they never tried to define it or picturize it in a form. But of course, as Jeewanji has said, that due to the invasions, she has always tried to protect. Because previous to that, there was no parda system in our Vedic tradition. And in Vedic tradition, women were leading the society, doing all the actions in parallel with men. And in the past, we have never heard, even our deities, they don't have ghungat or parda. Our deities are as equally representing as the male deities. Or during the invasions, in order to protect the female from, all kind of invasions and all
Invaders.
kind of torture being happening on them, they have tried to put them inside with parda and kind of not coming outside. And that has been more exploited in due course of time for different personal interests, but never been for the physical appearance, deformation of the body, or kind of, I've never heard in our history. No.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah. So
She's
Sometimes
soft.
we
She's always considered soft and graceful. But as you said, you have in your history one queen. We have line of queens in the Vedic tradition and in the history where they have ruled the country and tried to make a huge difference to
all
the
right.
society in different ways. And
yes.
equally, their words were listened and considered in the
Right.
society.
Yeah.
So actually, what we are discussing, and yeah, Dr. Prohitji, Rajpurohitji, you're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. I shouldn't give impression of what Vaidya Sangeeta is saying कि सब कुछ हंकी डोरी था. ऐसा नहीं था. शूर्पणखा भी यही थी. उसका भी वध हुआ था. Meaning to say, for Dr. Wang and others in English, that divinity in women existed forever in India. Agreed by all sects, all parts, all traditions in India as of today. But it is not that everyone was divine and all women were excellent and all misdeeds were done by men only. There were a lot of women who did misdeeds, who misguided the men, who misguided the future, and they were all sorted out. Those women were killed by our ancestors, because I do not wish to call them witches, but they were the women with either ill will or a negative intention. And this kind of negative intention, whether men or women, irrespective, that needs to be weeded out from the society. And Indian society has been very strong about it in weeding out such people, men or women. Though, because of our power of resilience, we've taken a longer time to weed such people out. And in the process, some of them have damaged the society also. And we have accepted that. But it is such a huge and resilient society that we take everyone along. And hence, the goodness of the society keeps filtering and coming up. And that goodness continues even today. Thank you.
Yes, and this discussion is started from the sacrifices mentioned by Dr. Wang, and then the piousness of the Vedic religion, Vedic dharma, in which the ladies are very auspicious. They are, and then Rajpurohit has taken this forward, the discussion. Now, as he has already highlighted this point that women are considered as Devi in Indian tradition and even today. So my question is with Dr. Prashant Shukla ji, that when we project women as Devi, is that for the inspiration or burden her with so-called responsibilities of the society? For Dr. Wang, Devi means goddess.
Sometimes it works as a double-edged sword, like Dr. Wong rightly mentioned. It's right now, as you can see, the female are so much conscious about their figure by the impact of the cinema, particularly in Bollywood and Hollywood. But interestingly, when you talk about the earlier period, so there was a time when the bulk in the body was actually appreciated in Indian culture. You look at the earlier paintings, particularly those of Raja Ravi Verma and others. So there was nothing like the so-called zero figure kind of thing. Actually, it came under the influence of the European hegemony sort of thing that we started imitating them. So that's a long story, and the reality comes in layer by layer by layer. So now the problem is that we want to have a binary and airtight compartment. So either we have to worship women or we have to treat them as minions. The point is that both the views are equally wrong. Sometimes what happens is that we we infuse so much divinity in women that they forget how to live a common life, because they are so much pressurized by the expectation of the common perspective that sometimes becomes so difficult to carry the burden. But then on the other side, to unleash the caricature will be another kind of problem. So yes, modesty would be the norm, as has been said. Ati sarvatra varjyate. So I would suggest, please, for God's sake, don't always treat them as goddess, but then never treat them as slave as well. So moderation, I think, is the key, and that is precisely the theme which was supported by Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. It was supported by Gautam Buddha's Madhyam Marg, and that was the thing which was mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita as well. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Prashant ji, you mentioned rightly that when we consider, when we put into the framework of Devi or goddess, a woman, then our expectations as being a social member of the society is more that she should behave in such a way. But she is a normal human being. We always forget this thing, and we never consider men as some devata. We say, oh, आप तो देवी हैं, आप तो साक्षात देवी का रूप है. We always say like that. But भी हम कभी किसी को देख के ऐसे नहीं बोलते हैं कि अरे साक्षात शिव भगवान चले आ रहे हैं. We never say like that. So in that sense, do we think that women's why? Because we have this this phenomena of worshipping females or girls since childhood. That's different. But putting them into certain framework and then expecting her that she should take care of family, she should do this, she should do this, she should wear this kind of a stuff and dresses and everything. But at the same time, we should not forget that she is a free bird also. She has her certain different kind of thinking with which she want to live. There is a new movie just came in between, like Mrs. in India, Mrs. that represents this thing only, that how much expectation is there from the lady or the female once she get married. Even her parental side is saying that you should adjust. Her husband side is also saying you should adjust, but she has to adjust. What about the other members of the family who are with her, who are living with her? And there can be 5 members or 10 members or 20 members. She is the one. She has to adjust in both the kulas, both the families. So what do you, as Dr. Rajpurohit ji is the senior most among us right now. So I think Dr. Prashant ji and Dr. Sangeeta ji should say their opinion on this.
So definitely, Aparna ji, this is definitely, as Prashant ji said, that don't try to, pressurize or put that pressure on her head that, oh, you should be like this because we are giving you that, designation. So वो criteria तो पूरा करना ही पड़ेगा. You need to, satisfy all those angle of criterias. Definitely, it creates a stress inside and a pressure inside that, okay, these are the protocols. If I'm not fitting into this, I'm not best for the society or representing the society in whatever angle. And that definitely creates a level of guilt also, that, okay, am I really taking care of all these so-called captions which have been given to me, or to handle those things. Definitely it creates a pressure. And as Aparna ji is saying, when it comes to married life, or when it comes to taking up a new responsibility, entering into a new family, she has always been considered that, okay, you are the one who entered into this domain, so you are the one who has to change yourself. We are all always existed here. So you are the one who has to adapt to the things. But we cannot generalize anything, Aparna ji. Definitely it changes from culture to culture, person to person, place to place, family to family. It's not always the same that, okay, they are putting her in that picture. Definitely that movie was representing maximum part of the society. I agree with it. And those expectations are always there. And it also creates a lot of stress and pressure in a woman. And I've been hearing, because it's Women's Day, so many talks and things come that, okay, a woman, when she gets married or when she gets pregnant, or once she delivers the baby, completely things change in her life, right? Because the priority changes. It's like all her ambitions, career, etc., etc., they are sidetracked for a while, or maybe. But it is totally, maybe at least in now where we are in half of the society, it is totally up to the woman whether she wants to take up that responsibility or she doesn't want to take up that responsibility. So if she considers it as a burden, see, though I'm a woman, I definitely seek that particular angle, that if she thinks that she is the creator and she has that power to create, not the men, right, to give a birth to a baby or to lead the next generation, that itself is the biggest responsibility. And if she definitely thinks that it is way more than what I have to achieve in the career or move ahead, or I can definitely give a pause for a while and go ahead in that field, she can do it. So now at least maybe in maximum part of the society, or most part of the society, women has got that freedom that, okay, it's totally up to you what you want to discuss or decide in your way.
Yes. And we have people in the audience to maybe some questions and comments we will take. But before that, I think Dr. Prashant, do you want to add something on this?
Yeah, I just want to cite an example. Of course, there are stereotypes and they create a lot of expectations, not only from women, but also from men. And these stereotypes are very difficult to be changed. Uh, when Raja Ravi Verma for the first time tried to caricature women in a different kind of scenario, so it was very difficult to adopt it. Or the story is very interesting. So the people said that such pictures or portraits would not be invited by the common public. And that was the time when Raja Ravi Verma sold all of his property. And all the pictures were actually paid to be printed on the matchbox. तो माचिस की डिबिया पर वो मॉडर्न विमेन की फोटो लगा करके उसको मार्केट करना शुरू कर दिया. And that's was a very good strategy, because there were men who were using matchbox to light their cigarettes, but there were women who used the same matchbox to light their chulha. So gradually it became a part and parcel of their life, and that is how this stereotype gradually changed. अभी आज सभी लोगों ने उल्टे पल्ले की साड़ी पहनी हुई है, which is quite normal these days. But एक जमाना था, अगर आप सीधे पल्ले की साड़ी नहीं पहनोगे, तो that was an offensive act and not acceptable by the society. तो इन चीजों को बदलते बदलते कम से कम 300 साल लग गए. तो ये जो डिविनिटी और गॉडेस की इमेज इम्पोज कर गई विमेन पे, तो इसको भी बदलते हुए थोड़ा वक्त लगेगा, क्योंकि अगर एक झटके से आप बदलोगे तो वी वुड रश टू द अदर साइड, एंड आई एम अफ्रेड इट वुड बी इक्वली बैड. सो द थिंग शुड बी टेकन in a very cautious manner, and slowly I think that the change would more be expected like that. Thank you.
Aparna ji, you're muted.
Sorry. That's true, whatever you have just spoken, because I think you have highlighted the point from the feminism point of side. And being a philosopher, and we also have one philosopher with us in the audience, Dr. Shukla Dikshit ji. She is a feminist and also an existentialism philosopher. So, Shukla ji, you can add your comment, and also if you want to add something with to our panelist.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aparna ji. And it was wonderful and much necessary discussion which we are having here. In the same line with Prashant sir, when we say we are already have the sanskars of worshipping women, or to worship woman as a goddess is not enough. We must come up with those actions, and women must not submit themselves to society's challenges. I do agree with Rajpurohit sir that the goodness of the society growing for years, and it will grow forever. But my point is, to women have to challenge the society, and there's no other way around by which we can change the society. Uh, One or two points I would like to highlight here, that there were customs in the European countries, in the China, like there were a foot binding custom in China. There was another custom of wearing very tight fit dresses for women only to show their waist thin and slim. Uh, so woman has been judged and gazed by the society. And I would not say only men's gaze is uncomfortable, rather women feels uncomfortable with the other women's gaze too. So these kind of complex emotions where one woman, or where um, she feels other than what she is, need to be scrutinized nowadays, because we are uh, we are having these kind of discussions every year, uh, and we are not, scrutinize these kind of ideas. So recently, I watched the movie Mrs. Aparna ji, you just discussed that. So the movie reflects the anxiety and suffocation of a woman inside her own self. It's not about the what you say. It's not about the validation she wants from the society, but she was uh, she needs validation and justification for herself inside her, what I feel. Although she was not scolded or insulted or beaten up by anyone or any member of the family, not even by the society, but it was just uh, she was alienated her from herself. So her essence of being a human is snatched there, and she becomes a woman, just a woman. This type of conscious phenomena should be questioned by woman herself. And she must not blame the society, as society never provide her that position, never provide her first position, or never provide her the human position. Because in Bharat, I mean, in our country, because we are talking about the woman as a divine something, divine principle or goddess or Devi. She is already Devi Mata here. So uh, I request all the women to stand for yourself. You are human and not a Devi. Neither you are a slave. You are just gifted with a beautiful body and love to be embodied and situated as a woman. You should love your body, and uh, you should not submit your essence, you should not submit your situation to the society. That's my point. Thank you.
Can I add a point?
Yes, sir.
You're
Just-
muted. Aparna,
Yeah.
you're muted.
So that was again whatever Dr. Shukla ji just highlighted is it is a call from a feminist, I think so. It looks like that only. And yes, I truly believe that one we should respect ourselves first, and then then we should think of others to give us the same respect and freedom. Firstly, we should think that if we are in a suffocated atmosphere, we should take a call of for that, and we should highlight that. We should not be the sufferer. We should be the warrior in that sense. I believe that. So with these words, I invite Dr. Rajpurohit ji to add his comment on this.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Shipra. It's a beautiful thought that you are yourself, fight it out yourself, rise to the highest that you can. Don't depend on anyone else. I fully subscribe to that. But I'll go back to the title wherein we say equity and empowerment of women. There was a time when, firstly, in the Indian context or in the planet context, women were always empowered. Why this word empowerment? Where has it come from? If it has come from the historical oppression of women, I'll accept it. And over a period of time, we've seen a large number of social reformers who have done excellent job in bringing up the status of women. Having said that, we are in a society as on today, wherein the dynamics of education, knowledge, and wisdom is abundant, both in men and women. And therefore, providing a special care for empowerment, I think, is acceptable to the extent of assisting them in gaining knowledge, developing capabilities. Anything beyond that is self-realization. And if this self-realization comes in, male or female, irrespective, you will reach your level of potential. And therefore, when I say that women are as good as men, the aspect is what Shipra said, a realization, and self-realization is the key to it. Why do we look towards empowerment anymore? The world has come jahan kehte hain ji abhi queue is the same, one single queue, no separate queues. So if the platform is common, let us fight it out. Whosoever is better will take off, the other will wait. So the next question that comes to me is, if the empowerment, self-realization, and progress in life are the keys, how do I reach this level of realization and self-realization? Not everyone has it. The kind of impact of Western education in Indian society is there. We are heading towards a very strong Western methods of life. All our books, they come from West. Our education system is not based on all that we have spoken. We are speaking from our culture and historical point of view, but we study all Western books. And therefore, even if you realize what next, how do you grow? That's where the point comes, that you have to grow yourself, take help of all other men, women in the world, in the society around you, and kick yourself the hardest to reach the highest. Thank you.
Yes, that's true, sir. That even when I talk to philosophy people like Dr. Shipra Dikshit ji, she is my colleague only in INADS. And I always, even Professor Singh always say that you people always read Western philosophers or scholars. What about Indian scholars? And I think she has taken up one project in which she is going to highlight the 100, the scholars from Indian background from the philosophy from last century. There is a certain kind of a project she is taking up, and maybe she is highlighting that thing. So as you are saying that whatever we are following Asian traditions, Ayurvedic practices, but what we are doing, we are celebrating Western thing. So there is no bridge in that. I think there is a lot of gap. We want our children to follow Vedic practices, Vedic traditions, Indian traditions. But what we are doing, that we are celebrating, we forgot to touch the feet of our mother daily, but we want to celebrate or gift her a bouquet or card on Mother's Day. That is important. And I want to put a photograph of my mother on Mother's Day on Facebook, that I am wishing her very fondly and very lovingly. But daily, do I talk to her? It doesn't matter. So that's how there is a lot of gap. I think we are even in today's generation, which is being going. So we have among us Dr. Shashi Tiwari, madam. She is President Waves India, and I believe because we are talking about Vedic practices and Vedic knowledge, so I am inviting her to add few points related to the Vedas, and or especially she can highlight any of the Vedic Rishika uh, to regarding our theme, mainly the role of inspiration, the role of women for inspiration. So, ma'am, we welcome you.
Yeah, Aparna. So I have not able to join the whole of the program, which were from the 5:30 onward. But just I have gone through the whole speech of Brigadier Jeewan Purohit and Shipra and Mrs. Dr. Sharma. So as I understand here, the situation of women, the position of women in our society is always changing. And if the position of women is changing, the status of society is changing. So both are complementary to each other. And as Aparna is talking about Vedic period, and then medieval period, then modern period, 3 times zone we can decide. And Vedic period, as everyone knows, it was the ideal.
Ma'am, you are muted. Ma'am, you got muted. Your mic is muted, madam.
Now, is it okay?
Yes, fine.
So in the Vedic period, she was in the position which is assessed best in our history. She was a writer, she was author, she has revealed many mantras of the Rig Vedas, and she was doing sacrifice, which was considered the highest religious act of that time. She was doing a discussion or debate with kings and other enlightened persons. She was doing tapas also. So in every sphere of life, she was in her best, and she was. I found that it was not necessary she has to marry. She can be unmarried throughout her life. So it is a very good situation, we can say, at the Vedic time. Later in the Ramayana, in the Mahabharata, we find the same situation of women, and it is very on high position. She can decide anything. Draupadi is very free, and Sita is also very free. When she asks her husband, I will also go. So everywhere we will find that she was in best of her situation. Later, due to different situations in the society, in the political scenario, things were changed, and she was again uneducated, early marriage, all these misconceptions were there in the society. Then in the modern time, people worked for the upliftment of women. Mahatma Gandhi and many other Mahapurushas are social reformers, and she again is now we are enjoying that time, and she is in best of her positions. She can do any job, as you all were very much aware of all these things. But if I I am allowed to say that the shortcoming of our society are also due to her at the present time. I may be incorrect also, but I think as family is breaking, it is a nuclear family now, no united families, but preferred by young ladies, young boys, and similarly morality is on the downfall. So these shortcomings should be corrected, and then we will be in the real state of empowerment. As I think it will be then a good situation, and the credit will go to women again as was earlier. So with these words, I will like to say that we should try to give her freedom, but side by side, she should also be having some discipline in the society, in the family, and it is her duty to do all these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for giving this Vedic opinion to this platform, to this topic of theme of today. And now I would like now the last question from the panelist only. That do you think any of the panelists can answer this? Do you think that women actually struggle to inspire the society?
Very interesting question, Aparna ji. Is she really struggling to inspire?
Because actually, this question is because I have put this question in conclusion, because this is going to be the takeaway from this program, and after this we are going to conclude this program. So you all panelists can add your takeaways on this.
Definitely, as Shashi madam has just said that we should definitely give freedom to the women, but she should know it's not like giving freedom, it's like equal. We are equal and we are there, and but how much she is making use of it and how best she is executing it, and not without creating any kind of conflict for the next generation, because we have seen also, as Jeewan ji has said, that there are also references of women who are kind of a bad representation and they have been weeded off. And as Bal Ram sir has started the talk saying that it's not yatra naryastu pujanti tatra ramanti devata. It's only that women, if she holds herself to that level, everything is devata then. There's no problem. So that's definitely true. I personally feel that sometimes women do struggle to inspire. That because it becomes again, it becomes a to-do kind of thing, that yes, these things I need to represent or I need to do to represent myself. So, but as a personal opinion, I would say our life should become an example. We don't need to do any actions to inspire anyone. It's just that whatever we are doing every day in our daily life, a small act or a big act, everything should represent as an inspiration. And it equally stands for both men and women.
That's very fine, Dr. Sangeeta ji. That's fine. But I think moving to Dr. Rajpurohit ji, just a minute, sir, because we have Professor Singh with us, and he's a global person, we know. So, sir, can you give me a ratio? A ratio, as you have seen a lot of countries and you traveled a lot. So, as Sangeeta ji said, yes, she struggled to some extent. So, can you give me any ratio in numbers, that how much, because it is a global thing. Because in Western families also, you have given some examples from your family also, and your companions also, that yes, sometimes there is a difference of opinion in in-laws or daughter-in-law, or even in the families. So can you give any ratio in global numbers?
Well, I really don't know what are you asking for ratio. There are ratios for different things. For example, I think Sasi Tiwari ji just said, the united family or joint family system has somebody is struggling there, obviously, because the people have to go to cities to make a living. Village is no more possibility. I live in a joint family, and I did some research on it. So women who are victim of violence is much less in a joint family, believe it or not, than in nuclear family. So that is one statistics that gives us. But the point is, I think your real question was whether do they have to struggle? Do they struggle more? Then yes, they do. Do they suffer more? Yes, they do. The global statistics will tell you that. But then I like I said in the beginning, nobody has yes narasya pujante ramante devta. Even if no matter what the men do, I think ultimately the authority and the power is with women. They do have nobody. I mean, all of us who are here have a struggle. All of us have a struggle. Now, here the question is: as a woman, somebody struggles more. Absolutely, they have to struggle more. But that's why they get the position they get. They have to struggle because they have to save themselves. They are physically not as strong. There will be violence against them. There is more likelihood. Dr. Wang was telling, how it was important for them to feel safe in the society, and for that they had to behave certain way. They have to dress up certain way. Yeah, that is all part of the game. I have to dress up certain ways. I have, as a professor, I have to take a lot of struggle, including the one I'm driving right now. I'm driving right now because I have to meet somebody, and that is very important part of my job. So I'm taking trouble and going there because this is something that is I'm meeting with a professor from Harvard that we had planned a week ago, so I couldn't really change it. But then I have to struggle. I mean, I'm talking to you and I'm driving at the same time at the speed of about 80 miles per hour. So it is all a struggle. It says in Indian philosophy, in yoga philosophy that I normally teach, tapaswadhyay Ishwar pranidhanani kriya yoga. Kriya yoga means when you are doing something and you are united to everybody else. For example, I'm driving and I'm united to you all. I have to take trouble. Tapa means taking trouble. And then study yourself. I think Dr. Sangeeta Sharma said that we all have to do that. You study yourself to improve. Next time I have to do, I couldn't do it in the beginning. Now I can talk and I can look at you and I can drive at the same time because I have practiced. So you have to take trouble and then but study all the time yourself, learn from it, improve, and then you will reach the goal of, in this case, Ishvara or God, our goddess. In as we say, I just want to say one funny thing that has happened in the modern times in India. In the airplanes, they used to say Devi or Sajjano, which means goddess and good people or gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, they say in English, but Devi really means goddess. Now they don't say anymore. And I wrote a funny line on it because some men objected. They said, well, you have to say if you say Deviyan, then we have to call us Devta, means you have to call us God. And they stopped the system. The whole system they don't want because they know that men are not going to be gods, but women can be goddess. And I think that it's not without trouble. All the goddesses that we have an example, all the people, including mothers, we have example in our lives, they all have struggle. They take trouble. Just goes without the just goes with the territory. If you are going to be a mother, is going to affect the society. If you're going to influence, inspire, then you have to take trouble. The reason I consider my mother so great is because I know her troubles. She took trouble. She became widow at 26, but stayed with her mission of life and raising her 3 children and rest of the family also, not the 3 children, and the joint family. So I think this comes from with the territory. If you are going to be great, you have to take a lot of trouble. And Brigadier Purohit knows it better as a soldier. They have to take trouble. They put their life on line. So with that, I think women really do take a lot of trouble naturally, and I think they need to be respected naturally. But if there is any problems, I think they need to take more troubles to convince people. And I'm sure human beings will be convinced. Thank you.
Yes, and that's nice, sir, that you have uh, uh, call the name of Dr. Rajpurohit because actually you talk about the troubles and the tapaha. So, and he knows better of the troubles. So, your point, sir, Dr. Jeewan ji.
Thank you, Professor Bal Ram. One thing which is absolutely clear, at least in my mind, which says Nari Samajasya Kushal Vastukara. She is the architect of the society. And anybody who's an architect, anybody who's into the formulation, manufacturing, doing, executing, goes through all the troubles, all the hurdles and challenges. And therefore, women are no different. From the origin to childbirth to growth of the family, she's in and out everywhere. So there is no differentiating. Now let me come to practical aspects of life. I was on an Insta live with a lady officer of Indian Army. And I asked her very clearly, या मेरे को जितना मर्जी रोलिंग करवा लो, रगड़ा लगा लो, कुछ भी कर लो. Round the year, I have no problems. But at least for all women, those difficult 4 days of the month, how will you swim in the swimming pool? How will you roll? How will you go for firing? How will you run around as energetically as anyone else or their counterparts? How did you manage? And very, very brave of that lady. And I have interacted with more, and they all said, sir, what 4 days? Which 4 days? What menses? One had no time to think of all those things. That's the way women take challenges. That's the way women overcome their sufferings and challenges. So that is one part of this. The second part of the question that you had asked is the inspiration. Struggles and inspiration, which was explained by Vaidya Sangeeta ji. Also, I'll add on to this. I believe that the days of empowerment are over. Days of self-realization have come in. And in a society like India and maybe elsewhere as well in the world, it is the time to spread awareness. Time to spread awareness. The more the awareness we spread, every day we talk to some men, some women and say, you are set to do a great job. Do it. This is exactly what Kautilya did when Alexander was at the frontiers of Bharat. And he says, Agar Yavan aa gaye to 1, 2, 3, 4. Agar humne kiya to 1, 2, 3, 4. And therefore he prepared the entire nation for an enemy. And he blasted him. He defeated him. Today is the time we need to spread this awareness campaign across the societies, across the countries and across the planets, so that awareness brings the self-realization, self-realization brings the empowerment, and empowerment grows not only women, but the entire society. Thank you so much.
That was actually words from the soul of the soldier, because whatever you have spoken, it's like from this directly from the battleground, that stand up and have your words and do this and do that. So that was wonderful. And I think Dr. Prashant Shukla ji's network is not well. So last takeaway from Dr. Wang, and then we can conclude the session on time.
Yes. So yeah, great discussion today. I learned so much and it's inspiring me as well. And I think the struggle, for women to inspire the society is real. I think especially right now with the fast changing world, and also as Dr. Rajpurohit like mentioned about the practical way. And I think for me also, I remember when I was a postdoc in Boston, and there's one time we'll go to a meeting in California, and there's two postdocs also came from India, And remember, they were like, oh, I need to cook all the food, and then I need to prepare my whole family be able to eat 3 days of meal. And the American girl in the lab was like, why she need to do that? And then it was like, oh, can her husband cook? Or can they, go out? They just don't understand why if you go out of the house, you worry about your husband and your kids will go hungry. So I think that's the responsibility we feel. And then I think you imagine the struggle, right? They work full time and they have a family to take care of. And then I think the mother, it's not like the husband can't do it, but the mother feel, okay, I want to make sure, like only in this way, I can go to California with no worry. So I feel that's the responsibilities a lot of time women have. And in the meantime, that's the lady to balance work and life. But I also have good friends like in China back home who really intelligent, did a great job, but after having kids, she decided to stay at home. And then like lots of times I feel for a woman, you really have a key role of how you want to do things and how you want to raise your kids. And it's your choice. And then in the meantime, I feel also to inspire the society, it starts with your own family and then how you make your life decisions. And then in the other side, I think Dr. Singh, we have some discussion. She said like women are weak physically, but the mind are strong. So I think to train your husband is also important. So it's like from your family, right? In this way, you know how to work with male, and then out of the family at workplace, you know how to deal with female colleague and how to like make sure you have good work relationship with male colleague and how you get your way gently and wisely and without big conflict. So I feel the takeaway is I feel I learned so much, and especially with this international, I think in China we call it International Women's Day, right? And although I think India have it, but I'm not so sure why in the US is not celebrated as much. But I really haven't have really deep reflection, like, busy with everything in life. I'm really grateful this symposium or this like workshop really gave me a deep dive into different culture and then reflection on my own growing up and think about what I should do in my family, in the society. And so I really appreciate all of your great input.
Thank you, Dr. Wang. Even we have learned so much from your different stories and points you raised from the Chinese culture, and I found even other panelists also found very similar presentations, which we also feel the same rituals, the same kind of a sacrifice by the ladies and other people, and the kind of as you said, just that it is a responsibility of both the parents to raise the kids, and both are equally worried for the kitchen work and the other household things. So this is how we can say that India and China is more of a very related. Professor Singh is not here, but he can even Dr. Sangeeta Sharma ji, they can relate it more maybe differently because they are from India. They are having you as one of the faculty member, and also they are staying in US, so they can see the difference between three cultures. I think some other time we will highlight that. And now we have Dr. Prashant ji, and Dr. Prashant ji is the last concluding remarks from you.
It was really a learning experience from all of you, and I am really indebted to Aparna ji for organizing such a eye-opener sort of thing. You see what happens that there are a lot of things we keep on thinking in our mind, but it become more concretized once you put your thought in language. So once I have been able to listen to your thought and maybe synchronize my own understanding with yours, I believe I have got parishkar in my gyan. So with this discussion and dialogue, my understanding has been refined. So I think the purpose has been very well served. Thank you to the coordinators.
Thank you.
Aparna, I'm still here. I was
Yes,
just
sir. Yes.
listening. And Dr. Wang and many others of various cultures from Europe and US, of course, and India. As a professor, I've been enriched. And just for your information, Dr. Wang is in the organization informally named as Lakshmi of the INADS.
So she has some responsibility, as you can see.
Yes, I already mentioned in her profile that she is the person who is taking care of all the administrative patents to
But
the prime buyer.
she has been given the name of Lakshmi. That's why I was.
Yes, yes, I understand, sir, and that's we are grateful to Dr. Wang for this, for making our organization rich and rich, more rich each and every day.
Yeah, thank you.
जी.
It was pleasure to listen to Professor Tiwari madam. बहुत दिन बाद उनको देखा और बहुत अच्छा लगा. What clarity of thought and what a clear division of the entire era of 1,000 years into 3 distinct aspects, and how women in all different eras are operating and enjoying. And Dr. Vadhva is also here. If he's here, it's so nice to hear you, see you, sir. Great interacting. Thank you so much, Dr. Aparna, Professor Balram, everyone. Would love to continue the connect. Thank you.
Thank you, Aparna ji. It was wonderful.
Dr. Wang, it was wonderful listening to you. And especially when you talk about the story of Nuva, I'll just add one point if you permit. Nuva uses legs of a turtle to create the bridge to the heaven. You remember that? And that's the strength of any culture, that a lady actually creates the bridges. And why did she select turtle? We obviously understand that the skin of turtle is so strong, the feet are so strong. Thank you so much for adding that lovely story. It was wonderful. Thank you.
With these discussions and opinions, our today's program of celebrating International Women's Day, though it is a Western culture, but still we are celebrating because we want to keep this in mind that we Vasudev Kutumbakam. We all belongs to one family, and it doesn't matter which culture, which belief is going around us, but we have to follow it because we making it like usko आधार बनाकर we can share our opinion. So we have chosen this date to understand more deeply about the women, about her traits, about her balance, and as many of the panelists, you have shared this thought that women is nothing but a balanced herself, a balanced being herself, and she is balanced in a way because of nature only. The nature has given her so much challenges and so much struggles within herself, but still she is being she seems like a weak person, but she is very strengthened. So there is no point in making her a Devi or a goddess. We just have to think that she is a normal human being having so many challenges and having so much balance in her own. With these words, I thank you, all the panelists of today's session, and this was very nice and enriched talk. I believe that this will soon can be published in a way because we have one press, Institute of INADS Press, that's a publication division of Institute of Advanced Sciences. And soon I will try my best to give this all thoughts ready in a press format, and maybe in next segment I can release that. So thank you everyone for accepting our invitation and sharing your wonderful thoughts with us. And I also want to thank the audience, Dr. Shipra Dikshit ji, for adding her comments, and Dr. Alok Dwivedi, Dr. Shruchi Singh, my co-faculty, and Dr. Tiwari madam. She's very learned and she also shared her views on the Vedas. And Professor Abhagnoti ji is here, Shri Vaike Vadva ji, Shri Shiv Langa ji, and many others who have joined in between but left because the timeline was about 2 hours, I understand. But this program was also getting live on INADS Facebook page. Soon you can see that link also, and you can share that link with your colleagues. And thank you everyone. And soon we will connect with some other thought of line. Dr. Wang, you want to say something?
Oh yeah, I just want to add one thing. And this is my first time to attend. And I think you mentioned about maybe in the past or in the future, you'll have this same like International Women's Day get together. I suggest next year, if we have it, maybe each of us can pick one female figure from our own family and how that person inspire you. And I feel that will be really powerful to see, like we connected. And then if we see which female family member you share, I know, oh, where that come from. So I think that may be, like I have heard a lot of great stories with Dr. Singh, with his mom, and I really looking forward to hear of your stories about why you are here today. It must be because of female figure in your family. Right.
That is wonderful idea. Wonderful idea.
That's a
Yeah.
wonderful idea. I also feel like, because sometimes having this kind of a discussion and then relating it to your own family members or the person you want to get, you are inspired from. So that is also a different way of looking at it. So I think soon we will have some those those ideas and see into a practical form by doing some programs. So thank you all. Thank you everyone, and again,
Thank
lots
you.
of wishes to you and your family for a wonderful day today. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I must thanks Aparna ji as my colleague to inspire us for this wonderful conference. Thank you, Aparna ji.
Thank you, Aparna
Thank
ji.
you all
Thank you
of
for taking that call and, organizing this. It was wonderful to have everyone sharing their views, and you are the key person to hold up the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, but the credit goes to Dr. Shifra ji and Dr. Sangeeta ji, who actually called me up for doing some program, special program on Women's Day. And I was thinking, no, I can't do this time because I have some other important work in my on my
but
table, which I
you
cannot
took
miss.
this responsibility. That's wonderful because मुझे 6th को याद आया कि अरे हमने कुछ किया ही नहीं, and I called her. She said कि कुछ सोचते हैं, and it just happened. So thank you for that.
So that was a divine grace and divine call. That was not a, otherwise it won't be possible. And thank you all for joining. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.